Hi, and welcome to Surviving Strong TV. My name is Greg Katz, your host, and this is the place where we talk about living with chronic and life-threatening illness and how to live beyond the illness. So, I want to ask you this question. You know when someone wants to get a hold of you. For instance, somebody wants to reach you by phone, the phone rings, you either answer it or you let it go to voicemail. So, someone leaves a message and they let you know that they want to talk to you. Someone writes you a letter because they want to be in contact with you. Oftentimes, if it's in a friendship kind of way, they want you or are hoping that you will write back and respond. In email, somebody sends you an email and the developers of email miraculously created a reply button. So the question is, you know when people want to get a hold of you and are looking for some sort of a response. The question is, how do you do the same thing with your own body? How do you know that the body is trying to send you a message, and are you willing to respond? So a long time ago, in talking about challenges, Oprah Winfrey said that life speaks to us in whispers. And if we don't pay attention to the whisper, it starts to yell. And if we don't respond to the yelling, it starts to scream and throw tantrums. And it's at that point that we develop a crisis. And for many people, especially those who have had symptoms for a long time that they've ignored, it gets to a point of a crisis, and that's where sort of the initial meltdown from a diagnosis comes physically. So what if the body is trying to send you a message and it starts off subtle? It starts off as a whisper. And do you pay attention, or do you blow it off as something that's sort of not that important or some sort of everyday occurrence? You know, there's a difference between obviously having a headache and having a brain tumor. But at which point do you make that switch to, oh, I've had a headache for 3 months that doesn't seem to go away and aspirin doesn't seem to do the trick, to, oh, I better get myself to a doctor and get a CT scan? I think it's a really important question, because if we don't respond to the subtlety of the message that the body gives us, it forces the body to sort of up the ante, to increase the notification process that the body is trying to get a hold of you, and are you willing to not only answer the call, but to respond once you get the message? I think that's the big key. Sometimes we get the message and we just don't do anything about it. And that's where things sort of snowball and we create sort of an internal avalanche. And unfortunately, sometimes people get buried in the avalanche, and life just becomes so overwhelming with an illness that it's hard to sort of climb back to safety. So I really want you to think a lot about this. I want you to think about, what are you not paying attention to, even if it's after your diagnosis, sort of symptoms or side effects. What should you let your doctor know about? What should you inquire about how to treat maybe a side effect or offset a side effect, or if a medication is sort of wreaking havoc with your system, how are you going to deal with that? But it's about your response time, not only your response, but your response time. So I hope you get the message, and I hope you reply. For further information on how to live life beyond illness, check out the website at www.survivingstrong.com. Until next time, I'm Greg Katz, wishing you wellness.